Mr. Duterte has committed the crime of murder.
Ang akin is, ako'y Pilipino at wala silang jurisdiction.
Hindi naman po fair yun na siyempre once you know na may kaso na ipa-file sa'yo and then bigla ka lang mag-withdraw to deprive the International Criminal Court of Jurisdiction.
Bakit nila hinayaan na mangyari ito sa isang dating Pangulo?
This is what the international community expects of us as the leader of a democratic country.
The controversial arrest of former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has generated significant debate and raised opposing discussions within both local and international communities. Each individual holds a distinct interpretation and perspective regarding the former president's contentious arrest and subsequent transfer to the International Criminal Court detention facility in The Hague, Netherlands. What is the International Criminal Court or ICC, and what types of trials are conducted within its jurisdiction?
International law is not as weak as some may think.
The International Criminal Court or ICC investigates and tries individuals charged with the gravest crimes of concern to the international communities. Its headquarters is located in The Hague in the Netherlands. The court aims to help in a global fight against impunity and to hold those responsible accountable for the crimes they've committed. Being a court of last resort, the ICC seeks to complement and not to replace national criminal systems in the countries under its jurisdiction. To date, ICC has 125 state parties from Africa, Asia Pacific, Eastern and Western Europe, Latin America, Caribbean, and other states that are accredited to the Rome Statute. Notably, 3 of the world's most powerful nations, the United States, China, and Russia, are not members of this organization. Under the court's founding treaty, the Rome Statute, the ICC can have jurisdiction over 4 main crimes. The crime of genocide, characterized by the specific intent to destroy a certain nationality, ethnic, racial, or religious group. As of the time of writing, there are 7 individuals charged with genocide at the ICC, 3 of whom have been acquitted. Individuals convicted of genocide by the ICC can face up to 30 years of imprisonment. The court may also impose fines paid to the victims or their families. The ICC also prosecutes crimes against humanity committed as part of a large-scale attack against any civilian population. There are 15 forms of crimes under this, listed in the Rome Statute, such as murder, rape, torture, and enforced disappearances, among others. The former President of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte, was arrested and turned over to the ICC based on the violation of Article 7 of the Rome Statute.
We must understand po na this is different from the ordinary murder that we understand under our criminal law sa domestic law po natin. Sa domestic law po, it's simply the killing of a person under, with certain qualifying circumstance. For example, kung may treachery, may premeditation, so that will become murder. Ang murder naman po, as a crime against humanity, iba naman po yun. It's a different level of murder because may contextual element po na requirement yon. It's not, aside from the act of killing lang, yung contextual element po is that it must be committed as part of a widespread and systematic attack against a civilian population.
Upon conviction, The former president may spend the remainder of his life in the detention facility of the International Criminal Court.
Kung madi-dismiss po yung kaso, of course, that will result to an acquittal. So, pwede po siya makauwi. So, pero kung convicted naman po siya, so yung sentence po under the Rome Statute is a maximum of 30 years. Pero maximum na po yun, depende po, kasi depende rin po yan sa evaluation and assessment of the court.
The third type of crime that the ICC caters to is war crimes, which are serious violations of international humanitarian law committed during armed conflicts, as defined in Article 8 of the Rome Statute. Those guilty of war crimes can face imprisonment for up to 30 years. Under Article 8 of the Rome Statute, the ICC possesses jurisdiction over crimes of aggression. This term refers to the employment of armed force by one state against the sovereignty, territorial integrity, or independence of another state. The jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court over a specific case commences with a preliminary examination conducted by the Office of the Prosecutor. During this phase, the prosecutor will assess whether there is sufficient evidence and gravity that falls within the parameters of the court's jurisdiction. In the ICC case of the former Philippine president, the prosecutor found reasonable grounds to continue with the investigation.
The judges have found reasonable grounds to believe that Mr. Duterte has committed the crime of murder.
Although the court's jurisdiction over his case is being questioned, an international law expert believes that the arrest is valid.
There was a time that the Philippines was a party to the International Criminal Court. So we were a member, we are a state party to the Rome Statute. So nung time po na state party tayo sa Rome Statute and before our withdrawal from the Rome Statute in 2019, nagka-jurisdiction po yung International Criminal Court over crimes that were allegedly committed during that period of time. So once na-acquire na po yung jurisdiction over the subject matter of those crimes, so that jurisdiction will continue.
Once custody of the accused is established, the case proceeds to the pre-trial stage, which includes the initial appearance of the person charged with a crime and the confirmation of charges hearings. Should the case advance to trial, it is incumbent upon the prosecution to establish the guilt of the accused beyond a reasonable doubt.
So that's the challenge that on the part of the prosecution. They need to establish na yung war on drugs was committed as part of a widespread and systematic attack against a civilian population. So yung burden of proof po nun nasa prosecution.
Following the issuance of the verdict, both the prosecutor and the defense possess the right to appeal the trial chamber's decision regarding the verdict. If the conviction becomes final, the convicted person who has been sentenced to imprisonment will serve the sentence in the country volunteered to enforce ICC sentences. Based on the outcomes of previous trials conducted by the International Criminal Court or ICC, the entire legal process may last between 2 to 8 years. Despite its status as an international court, the International Criminal Court's complementarity principle renders it reliant on the cooperation of state parties. The ICC relies on states' cooperation in many fields, such as allowing investigation missions and facilitating the protection of the witnesses and the contact of the victims. The court also does not have a police force or army. It does not arrest the suspect itself. It relies on the states to do so. Sometimes the arrest warrants are pending for so many years, but they are valid for life, unless the judges decided otherwise.